Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to talk about all of the series that I'm currently in the middle of. I started doing a vlog series on my channel where I am trying to complete all the series that I'm reading. I thought that I'd actually do a video telling you guys what all those series are, and then you guys in the comments can tell me which ones you want me to complete first. I actually have episode 1 of that series already up on my channel. You can go watch it. I completed some series. I made progress in some other series. But I actually have a reading tracker that I use to track all of these series that I am in the middle of. This spreadsheet is from Allie from Hardback Hoarder. I've mentioned her spreadsheet before because it is what I use to track all of my books. There's so many different things that you can track on here, and series is one of them. Actually, there's like 3 different ways that you can track series in here. So we're just gonna go through this spreadsheet and I'm gonna tell you what they all are, how many books I've read in the series, how many I have left. If you have this tracker, I'm using the one that is series tracker number 3. What I like about this one is that you can see there is a progress bar. So like visually, you can see very quickly like how far into all of the series that you are. And I just think visually, I like the way that this one tracks it. So I have them sort of organized in genres. So first I have sci-fi and fantasy, then I have romance, then I have, I think, horror. I don't think there are any series outside of those 3 genres. And then I also have it color-coded. So all of the ones that are highlighted in green means that I only have 1 book left to complete that series. So whenever I am filming for my vlog series, I know that like, oh, I can pick up this book and I will have completed that. And then the ones that are in red means I'm not actually sure if I want to continue that series. So I'm gonna give it 1 more book to determine if it's actually something that I am still interested in. And then purple is ones that are fully completed. You can see at the top it says that I have finished 1 series out of 32 and I am 3% done. So starting off, I have the Broken Earth trilogy by N.K. Jemisin. This one has 3 books and I've only read the first one. I'm actually currently rereading the first book because I read it for the first time in like 2016 or 2017, and I've just always known that I need to reread the first book before I continue. So that is actually something that I'm working on right now. But that one is honestly like one of the best books that I have ever read. So I am nervous to read the other 2 books. I feel like there's no way that it can live up to my expectations, but we'll see. It's actually a very interesting experience reading it again this time because I'm listening to the audiobook, where the first time that I read it, I physically read it. So it is a very fun and different experience. Next, we have The First Sister by Lyndon A. Lewis. This one has 3 books and I have read 2 of them, so I only have 1 left. This was one that I was working on in the first episode, and I'm very excited to read the last book. I was gonna read it in that vlog, but once I finished the second book, I realized I just wanted like a little bit of a break before I went into the last one because so much happens in each of these books. But it's just such a great like sci-fi, action, space opera. It's so good and I cannot wait to see how it finishes. Then I have The Greenbone Saga by Fonda Lee. This one has 3 books and I've only read 1, and I know that this one is very highly requested. Anytime I mention The Greenbone Saga, I get so many comments of people wanting me to finish it, so I will work on that soon. This one I actually don't need to reread the first book because I have read Jade City twice. What's funny is I read it a long time ago, then I reread it within the last couple of years with the plan to continue, and then I remembered that Jade City devastated me a lot and I wasn't ready to continue, so I put a pause on it. But I will work on, I think Jade War is number 2. I will work on that soon. Okay, I do want to pause here for a second to talk about the sponsor of today's video, which is Ana Luisa. They have sponsored me a few times on this channel and I love their jewelry so much. In fact, a lot of the jewelry that I wear on my channel is from Ana Luisa, and I've had some of their pieces for many, many years and they hold up so well. They are tarnish resistant and go through a durability test to make sure they will last. And the prices start at just $39, so you don't have to spend a fortune to get really cute jewelry pieces. And I actually think the ones that I got this time are my favorite pieces that I've gotten from Ana Luisa. Firstly, I got these beautiful bow earrings that as soon as I saw them, I knew I had to have them. I am obsessed with bows at the moment. As you can see behind me, I have this gigantic bow pillow. So these are like my new staple earrings that I wear constantly. And then I got this beautiful charm necklace that I thought went with the bow earrings so well. It is so dainty and cute. It has a little butterfly, some cherries, a bow. It is just so cute, and I love wearing both of these pieces together. Like I said, I have a few older pieces that I've had for a long time and they haven't tarnished at all. They still look as perfect as the day that I got them. Plus, they are water resistant and hypoallergenic, and they have fast and free shipping in the US, free exchanges, and a 2-year warranty. And Ana Luisa is a sustainable brand, and they offset 100% of their carbon footprint. They have 25,000 5-star reviews. So if you want to treat yourself to some jewelry from Ana Luisa, you can use the link in my description. And once again, thank you to Ana Luisa for sponsoring this video. Next is the Mistborn trilogy by Brandon Sanderson. This one has 3 books, and I've read 1. Now, I am only counting the, Mistborn, I think it's Mistborn Era 1. I think, even though I know that Mistborn continues. For my own sanity, I'm only counting the original trilogy in my tracker because that makes me feel better. But I do want to continue this one soon, especially with how the way that the first book ended. I really, really want to see where it goes. Next is Iron Widow by Shirin J. Zhao. This one I actually thought was a duology. So when book 2 came out, I was like, oh my god, I'm so excited to finish it. Then I found out it's not a duology anymore. There's gonna be another book. So I've only read the first one. Not gonna lie, finding out that the second book was not the last one has kind of made me not want to pick it up right away. So I probably won't get to that one until closer to when the third book comes out. Next one is the Wayfarers series by Becky Chambers. The first book is The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet. This book has 3 books in the series, and technically they're companions because they all follow different characters. I've only read the first book, but I'm very excited to continue. I always just hear amazing things about the rest of the series, and I have actually read the first book twice because I read it a long time ago and then I recently reread it, and it still holds up. I love it a lot, so I'm very excited to read the next one. That one is a sci-fi series, but unlike the first sister, it's a lot quieter of a sci-fi series. There's something about Becky Chambers' writing that makes it feel very cozy, and it's very like found family, and it's just really fun. I really love it. Then I have Silver Under Nightfall by Rin Chupeco. This one is a duology, and I've read the first book, so I only have 1 book left to finish. This one is about vampires. I loved book 1 so much. Unfortunately, I have not heard the best things about book 2, but I will most likely be completing that sometime soon. Next, I have Alex Stern, which I think is what the series is called. It's Ninth House and Hellbent. I'm pretty sure the series is called the Alex Stern series. This one I'm all caught up. There's only 2 books out so far. I am caught up with it. So actually over on the side of the tracker, you can put the series status. So I have finished series, which are ones that the series is completed and there's gonna be no more new books. Then I have in progress, which means the series is still ongoing. And then I have caught up, which obviously means I've read all the books that are currently out. So another one that I'm all caught up in is the Wayward Children series by Seanan McGuire. This one has 10 books, and I just recently read the newest and 10th book. That is actually the longest series that is in this tracker. Okay, next I have Hell's Library by AJ Hackwith. This one has 3 books, and I have only read the first one, which I do want to reread the first book. I loved it when I read it. I always said that it was like The Good Place. It was so fun. It's about a library in hell and books that can take form as a person, and there's angels and there's demons. There's so much going on. It is so fun. I really want to reread the first book and then complete that trilogy. The next one is Shadow of the Leviathan by Robert Bennett Jackson. The first book is The Tainted Cup, which I read very recently, gave it 5 stars. Loved that book. Technically only 1 book is out right now, but the sequel comes out I think next month, and I am planning on reading it when it comes out. So technically I'm caught up with that one, but the sequel's coming out very soon that I already put it in my tracker. That one is so fun. It's like if a Victorian murder mystery was in a crazy fantasy world. I have another N.K. Jemisin series in the list. That is the Inheritance trilogy, which is a companion trilogy. It's not like a continuous story, but each book takes place, I think, at different time periods in this world and following different characters. But it is about gods and a city that's in the sky. I loved the first book a lot. Not as much as the 5th season, but it was still really, really great, and I do really want to continue the series. I've actually heard that the other 2 books in the series are better than book 1. Next, I have Between Earth and Sky by Rebecca Roanhorse. The first book, oh my god, what is the first book called? Black Sun. Black Sun. I do need to reread that. I've only read the first book, and I read it a while ago, but I do remember that I loved it. I know that one of the main characters was a pirate captain, and I remember loving her a lot. Plot-wise, I don't really remember what happens in the book. I remember the ending because the ending was crazy. But other than that, I don't really remember much that happened, so I do need to reread that one, but I know that I really want to finish it. I feel like in my tracker, I should make another color that designates rereading, because there are quite a few that I would want to reread. Next, I have the Ryeria Revelations by Michael J. Sullivan. This one has 3 books, and I have read one of them. Technically, I think it's 6 books, because each book is actually a bind-up of 2 books, but for the purposes of my tracker, again, I'm saying it's 3 because that sounds a lot less intimidating. This one, I actually think I really like this series specifically because of the audiobooks. I listened to the graphic audios, and I don't know, there's just something about it that, like, the voice actors for the graphic audio and then this particular story just, like, go together very well, and I really, really enjoyed it. Even though I think if I physically read it, it probably would have been like 3 stars. It's a 5-star audiobook to me. Next, I have the Murderbot series by Martha Wells. This one has 7 books, and I have read 5 of them. I've actually read all of the novellas, and then there's 2 full-length books. And I'm very excited because they're making a TV show out of it, and I cannot wait. This series is so fun. It's about a robot who is a murder bot, and people contract it to, like, be a bodyguard and murder, but all it really wants to do is watch reality TV. Oh my god, I've never related to a character more. All of these humans are just bothering it when all it really wants to do is watch hours and hours and hours and hours of reality TV. Same. Okay, next we're getting into my romance series. So first up, I have the Saints of Steel series by T. Kingfisher. This one has 4 books. I do think it's still ongoing. I'm not sure if the 4th one was the last one or not. This is a fantasy romance series. I've read the first book, which is Paladin's Grace, and I'm very excited. I know there's one particular book in the series where one of the characters is a bear shifter, which I'm very intrigued by. Next, I have the Salacious Players Club series by Sarah Kate. This one has, okay, technically this one has 6 books, but there's 1 book in the series that I don't have any interest in reading. So in my tracker, I put 5, and I've read 4 of them. So I currently only have 1 book left in that series before it is completed. In case you're wondering, the book that I don't have an interest in, I think is called Highest Bidder. It's the one with the white-haired man on the cover. So the one that I have left is Madam, which I'm very excited about. Next is Bergman Brothers by Chloe Lees. This one has 6 books, and I have read 2. And the 2 that I read in the series, I loved so much. So I'm very excited to continue. I really love Chloe Lees. I do want some opinions though, because the next book in the series, I believe, is Marriage is in Trouble trope, which is not my favorite. So I'm debating, I might just read that one next, or I might skip over it and read book 4 and then come back to the Marriage in Trouble. You guys can let me know if you think that I would like the 3rd book, even though I don't really care for Marriage in Trouble. Okay, next I have Veronica Speedwell series. This one I know technically is not a romance series. Let's be real, it is. It's just very slow burn. This one has 9 books in the series, and I actually did not realize that book 9 was the end, so I do need to catch up. I've only read the first. In my tracker, I put 4. I think I read more than that, but I have this problem. Okay, I've reread the first 4 books so many times because I keep intending on catching up, and so, like, I'll read books 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then I'm like, oh, I need a break, so I stop, and then a few years go by, and I'm like, oh, I need to start over again. So I might have read book 5. I know for a fact I read 1 through 4, and I think I'm now at the point where I don't need to reread those anymore. I do love them. They are very good, but I think I just need to start on book 5. Okay, next I have 2 series that I actually was caught up on, but they both had a 3rd book that came out very recently. So Emily Wilde by Heather Fawcett. This one has 3 books, and I have read 2 of them. The 3rd book is the conclusion, so I'm very excited. This one is a fantasy romance, and I loved the first 2 books. Very sad that it's over because I feel like I could read 9 of these. I could read 10 of them. I could read so many Emily Wilde books, and I'm very sad that it's only 3. And then the other one is the Ruinous Love trilogy by Bryn Weaver. The first book was Butcher and Blackbird, and then the second book, oh my god, what was the second book called? I don't even remember. It has completely escaped my brain. Is it on my shelf? Oh, Leather and Lark. It's literally on my bookshelf over there. I loved Butcher and Blackbird. That was a 5-star. Leather and Lark was a 4-star. I cannot wait to read the third book. I think it's the final one, but I do plan on reading that one very soon. So that's another one. Only one book left. I will complete it very soon. Next, I have Stolen by the Wolves by Lynx Robinson. This one currently has 3 books, and I have read 1.5. I read the first book. I am like halfway through the second book. The second book, though, is like 900 pages. It's crazy long, so I'm still reading it. I've been reading it for a very long time. I do really like it. It's just a very long book. This series is Viking Omegaverse. It is so fun. I love it so much. I do believe it's still an ongoing series. I think the author plans for it to have a few more books. So I'm really not in like a rush to catch up with this one, since one, the books are so long and they're not all out yet. But I do want to finish the second book sometime soon, because I hate dragging books out for too long. And next I have Priest series by Sierra Simone. I don't know if it has a different name. The first book is Priest, the second book is Sinner, the third book is Saint, and I've read the first 2. I read the first book, Priest. Didn't care for it too much. I read the second book, Sinner. Really loved that one. These are all like, I don't know what you would call it. Religious, not religious romance, but like the first one's about a priest, second one's about a nun, and the third one is about a monk. So we'll see how it goes. Even though I only have 1 book left in this series to finish, I have put Sierra Simone in jail. She's in jail for me because of what happened in American Queen. I have not released her from jail yet. I don't know that I'll be getting to this one anytime soon. Just know, if you do see me read Saint, it means I have released Sierra Simone from jail. Okay, next up I have the Never After series by Emily McIntyre. This one has 6 books, and I've only read 1. That was called Hooked, and this is one of my series in red, meaning I don't actually know that I want to continue this one. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna read the next book in that series. I think it's called Scarred, and that will be what determines if I continue this series or not. These are dark romances that are like Disney retellings. So the first one was Captain Hook from Peter Pan. This one, I believe, is Lion King. Then some of the other ones are like, I'm pretty sure, I think I remember there's like a, from Hunchback of Notre Dame, there's a Frollo, which scares me. Honestly, Frollo is like the scariest animated villain ever. Oh my god, he terrified me. He terrified me as a kid. The song Hellfire, scary, scary. Next I have Tempting Monsters, I think is what the series is called. This one is by Catherine Moon. The first book is Lady of Rooksgrave Manor, and I really loved that one. There's 3 books in this series. I don't know if it is still ongoing, but these are just very fun monster romances. The next one I also have in red, and that is Nashville Neighbors by Nikki Sloan. This one has, actually, I need to change this. I did have that it had 4 books, but a 5th one came out very recently. So it has 5 books. I've read the first 2, The Doctor and The Pool Boy, and I enjoyed both of them. However, it's been a very long time since I read Nikki Sloan, so I think I want to read another one in the series to see if I actually want to keep going. Next, I have Ravenswood by Talia Hibbert. This is in green because I only have 1 book left. I actually think I read this series out of order because I read the first book and the third book. So I only have the second book left. This one is just very cute, small town romances. I actually prefer this series to Talia Hibbert's Brown Sister series, which I know is far more popular than Ravenswood, but I actually think Ravenswood is better. And I think that the one that I have left is a single dad nanny trope, which I usually either love it or I hate it. But I have faith in Talia Hibbert that I do think I'm gonna love this one. Okay, next I have a book that I actually just recently added because I didn't know that it was a series, and that is Bride by Ali Hazelwood. So technically I am caught up, but a second book is coming out later, the second half of the year, so I'm very, very excited for that because I loved Bride so much. I cannot wait for the second book. And the last romance that I have on here is Part of Your World by Abby Jimenez. This one has 3 books. I don't know if there's going to be more than that, but I've only read the first book. Then I have 2 horror series. So the first one is Indian Lake series by Stephen Graham Jones. This one has 3 books, and I have read the first 2. I actually read the second book in my first vlog that I did. This one is such a good slasher series, and I cannot wait for the third book. I had some critiques about book 2, but based on a lot of the comments that I got on that video. People were telling me that you guys thought that I would like book 3 a lot, so that did make me really excited. And then the other horror series is Black Winter by Darcy Coates. This one has 4 books, and I read the first one, which was called Voices in the Snow, which was such a good book. I loved it. I was addicted to it. I actually read it in one sitting and like stayed up all night. That one is a post-apocalyptic, gothic, horror romance. It was so good. It was so good. I really enjoyed it. Actually, making this tracker, I realized how few horror series there are, because I read a ton of horror, but those were the only 2 series that I have on here, and I actually love it. I think we need more horror series. And then the last one that I have on here is my one that I have completed since starting this tracker, and that is The Shepherd King by Rachel Gillig. The first one is One Dark Window, and then I read Two Twisted Crowns in my vlog. And actually, One Dark Window I gave 4 stars, and Two Twisted Crowns I loved way more, to the point where it actually makes me want to put One Dark Window down to like a 3, because if I'm comparing it to Two Twisted Crowns, One Dark Window is not 4 stars. Those are all of the series that I'm in the middle of. Let me know in the comments which ones you most want me to complete and continue and read in my vlog series, and I will prioritize those, because as you can see, I have a lot of series that I need to get through. Thank you guys for watching. If you like this video, please like and subscribe, and check out my Patreon where I post tons of exclusive content. I will see you guys in my next one. Bye!